You can see behind me a peak. Times it can look like a pyramid, a cinder cone. But it's like this perfect slope pyramid or cone shape. Out here in the middle of all this golden color, which at times can be green and full of flowers, lavender colors and yellows and whites, all this flow and movement of color, and the green junipers and the red rocks you can just barely make out in the distance there. But this is the center point of this, the feeling of that center, the feeling of the center. I wanted you to see it from a distance. Because sometimes when we see these things, they call to us. It's as if that center calls us to it. It's almost like the feeling of this mountain and these mountains in our life that we see in the distance, as if that this journey of our life, of our soul, and this feeling of arriving at the center of like almost a labyrinth. That center is peace, that center is being able to be that while amidst of the colors and movements and winds and storms of life move all around you. But it does often seem like it's far away, off in the distance, the feeling of that. You can feel so far away from it at times. It's like you walk in the desert and you can't tell whether it's a long ways or it's close, so you keep walking and you keep walking and you keep walking, and it doesn't seem like you've got any closer. You walk your path, you try to heal yourself. You want to be happy, you want peace. You keep trying and trying and trying, and it still seems just as far away, even though maybe you've walked a great distance. So maybe it's time to turn around, and instead of spending so much time thinking about how far away you are, how much further you have to go, take a look back and see how far you've come. And know that these movements, they don't just, it's not like each day, oh, it's a lot closer, I can tell. No, it's over long periods of time. So you have to give up this belief in progress. That even though you're moving, even though each day you are practicing it, even though this medicine of one, I'm trying, but I don't seem to be getting anywhere. Just stay with it. Believe in that one thing. That that's who you are, that you're on that journey. And that perhaps you don't even realize that you've arrived. You have arrived. Until a moment look around. The smile comes on your face and you go, huh. I'm here. I'm here. There's something about when you physically exert yourself and then you arrive at this splendorous peace center. It's almost like you can even feel your whole body breathing more. You can even feel the sweat, the warmth, the skin. And this being at the center doesn't mean that you can't enjoy that. That you can't enjoy the physical sensations of the sun, the sounds, the smells, your own body, your own sensuality, your sexuality. They're part of experience, they're movements in the circle, like all those colors. And some of the colors are darker and sadder, and heavier. It's all part of life. And if you live it in a particular way, if you live it as this open and circling, loving movement of grace that allows everything to pass through you, that even though at times you're pulled out of the center, this dance of the medicine of one allows you to return. So that life is like this movement. And your emotions, your body, You're thinking, all of it's always sort of, even when you're sleeping, your body's in motion, your heart's beating, blood's flowing. Perhaps your soul's journeying elsewhere. So there's always movement, but you, no matter what, are that stillness, which is the center. That stillness that, remember, you can't hold it in your hand. But just like this arrival here and the sensation of it, you can feel it. It is a kind of feeling of stillness, quiet, but very present, very here. That's why I use the word here, presence. It's an awareness that's not aware of particulars. It's an awareness that has all the particulars within it, but not absorbed in them. As I've often said, just like the sun. The sun isn't trying to shine on this little piece of grass, but part of its shining, radiant, here, presence, awareness is touching it, is touching it all. But it's the even that bee that's flying around me now, it's in that bee too. And it is in the bee, to be, the bee, the vastness. So that center, it's not, when I am that center, I'm in the bee, I'm in the sun, I'm in beauty, I'm in this tree, I'm way out there, I'm up in the sky with a raven. I'm not in a particular location necessarily, although this is a very particular location. This is the center of the circle. This volcanic rock. This is rock that came up through what they call an intrusion. And it hit the surface of the earth. And then over millions of years, the earth around it began to shed and erode away until that cone center appeared. But it was always there. It was always there. It just took experience and life and living and being this medicine of one to clear the way so that you could remember and so that you could know it's always here. It's always here. It's always here. It's not a long ways off. This thinking that you, wow, such a long ways to go yet. That's a belief, such a long ways to go yet. And yet, it's always here. It's always here. You just have to sigh out and surrender into it. Surrender's the quick way. You just give it all up, and most of us have to go the long way, which is this medicine of one in a way. clearing the way to what's accumulated in our soul's experience, so that that mountain, the feeling of it, is there. As the bee. You can't. You can't hang on to it. Because you have to. Hang on to nothing. And become the center and be held by the center. Be the circle that has no center when you're at the center.